Hey guys, it's Eric here. I just like to talk a minute about Phil Schneider. Now, for those of you who don't know who Phil Schneider is, he was an engineer. He pretty much worked on the Dulles Underground military base. That was his big thing. Now, this guy had level 3 security clearance. I mean, the only person he worked for was the president, and he was just a high-ranking government official. Anyways, he worked on the Dulce Underground military base. Now, this military base is underneath Idaho, I think, and when he was working there, they were drilling and making this base underneath there, and he was working with some Delta Force guys, and he didn't carry a gun because I mean, he carried a Walter P-38, which is like a handgun or something like that. And they were working underneath the military base when he was with Delta Force, and they were drilling. And I guess when they were drilling, they were like 2 or 3 miles underneath the surface. And when they were drilling down there and clearing rocks and shit, they found an alien hive. And I guess this alien hive had been down there for thousands of years. These aliens were living down there, and I guess they had broke down their front door, and fucking all of these aliens came out, and there was a big firefight in Delta Force, and Phil Schneider got his hand cut off. He got shot with a ray gun. I know it sounds retarded, but I mean, he was shot with a ray gun, which later gave him radiation, and which developed cancer. So and there was like 70 or so Delta Force members that were killed during this firefight, and it was a tragic event. But anyways, these aliens, they were like an ancient civilization that had been living here. They lived here for thousands of years, and anyways, we had drilled in there, and after that was just like a misunderstanding. After the whole firefight and about fucking 60 or so, at the cost of 60 or so lives, fucking the government talks to these people, then they become friends or whatever, and these aliens go to work at Area 51, and they help us develop weapons like atomic bombs, fighter planes, just high-tech advanced shit. And what I'm making this video about is the government does not want you or me or any of the US public or anyone for that matter to know about this. And I just think that's fucked up because we are U.S. citizens, we pay taxes in this country, and we have a right to know about this shit. And yeah, the government won't do it. They keep us in the shadows about this, and it's bullshit. So, I mean, Phil Schneider was an awesome guy. I mean, he got cancer, he was going to die eventually, and he didn't want to die with his secrets. So he went around touring the country from Las Vegas to Oregon to fucking everywhere, just making videos and telling the truth, telling the U.S. the citizens what they have a right to know about. Well, obviously the government doesn't like this, and he was shot at numerous times, like I think like 12 or 13 times he was shot at. He got shot in his shoulder before he died. He was shot in his shoulder by an FBI agent. He was with an FBI agent, and that later turned around and shot him. And he was killed January 11th of 1996, or around that time, because he was discovered dead in his house. And he supposedly had a stroke, but he said it himself. I mean, he didn't have any brain problems. He had cancer, but he didn't have a stroke, and they couldn't list it as suicide, as like the government likes to do with these officials when they die. They like to say it was suicide, but he said it himself. He said it in the videos that if my death is ruled as suicide, it's not a suicide. That the government's lying. So the government couldn't say it was a suicide, so they had to say it was a stroke. Obviously, if you look at some of the real autopsy photos, I mean, he's got punch marks, he's bruised up, he's got a cord around his neck. I mean, there was a file that said he was beaten by 4 guys and 1 girl, and all of his alien documents. I mean, he had pictures of all these aliens, of these spaceships, like up close pictures of these aliens and spaceships, and they were all clear, no smudge. They were clear pictures. Well, nothing was stolen from the house, nothing of value, but all of his papers and all of his work was mysteriously vanished when he died. So obviously the government had something to do with it, because people don't up and just die like that. So he was a brave man. I think he was brave. He spoke out against the government. I mean, the U.S. government. I mean, we have a freedom of speech here. I mean, we should be able to say what we think, and the government can't tell us what we can and can't say. I mean, I should be able to say, hey, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna smoke pot right outside the police station. I know that's really dumb, but hey, man, I can say it, and they can't do nothing about it. Now, if I do it, it's a different story, but if I say it, they can't really do anything about it. That's my freedom of speech. Well, when he's talking about military bases and shit, that's when the government gets involved, and they don't want that. But he has the freedom of speech to say that. The government, I mean, they went in there and killed him under the heat, under the cover of night. I mean, it's so fucked up. What kind of world do we live in? I thought we, the United States, were built by the people. We were built by the people. The government has just as much say as we, the people, do. And if they don't like that, they can kiss our ass. We fund all the shit that they do, all the dumb, retarded shit that they do. We gotta fund it. Okay? So we, in this military base, it's being paid for with taxpayers' money. I mean, really, we're gonna pay for a military base that we can't even know about. We can't know what's in it. We can't know anything about that. Isn't that just dumb? It's so stupid. I think we should be able to pay for it. I mean, so, anyways, I have a link. I'm gonna put the link there. You can watch some of his videos. I mean, I hope you guys understand. I mean, Phil Schneider. Well, one more thing I would like to talk about, actually. The 1951 Aliens-Human Agreement, which was a bill that was passed. Obviously, we didn't know about it, but it was a bill pretty much saying the aliens could test on humans and cattle in exchange for technology. So, but there was conditions though on this agreement that the aliens, if they took human beings, they had to report to the White House their full name and why they were taking, what they were doing with them while they were taking them, and just the government was getting up in these aliens' business. Well, aliens didn't like how the government was all up in their business, so the aliens, they did it at first. They reported like they had to, but as time went on, they kind of just did what they pleased. Just do what they want, you know? But they did hold up their end of the bargain, though. They are helping us with technology. I mean, we've got iPhones, we've got fucking everything. We got so much technology now. And the government, you know, they have these aliens, but obviously if the public found out, hey, you know, there's aliens walking around the U.S., obviously the public would freak out and it would just be a catastrophe. So the government's keeping us in the shadow about it. That's no excuse, though. I mean, we still have a right to know, dude. And anyways, there's aliens that are at Area 51. Now, Area 51 goes like 2 miles underground. What you can see from the top, that's nothing, dude. That's just there. So the Russians, I mean, they can fly over Area 51 as part of our peace treaty from fucking the Cold War. I mean, they can fly over it, but that's just what you see on the top, dude. Like, this is Area 51 right here, and this is all the desert and shit around it, Groom Lake. The real base, it goes down and down and down, miles down here. This is where the real base is. It's fucking miles long, and it says that's where everything is. Now, there's aliens down there that are helping us build spaceships. I mean, there's UFOs that are parked down there. I mean, it's top secret. I mean, anyone who speaks out, I mean, you go to Area 51 and you don't have, I mean, you'll be shot for taking one step there. You don't turn around, when they tell you to turn around, they'll fucking shoot you dead right then and there. They don't give a fuck about who you are, your family, they don't give a fuck about nothing. So, I'll put the link to the Phil Schneider videos. I just want you guys to check them out. I think it'd be really interesting. I just thought I'd bring the subject back into light because, hey man, I was back in fucking shit, I was only like 1 or 2 when these videos are out. So I just like you guys to just take a look and just enjoy the videos, I guess, and learn about what the government's really hiding from you, the public.